When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. The authors of this quote are unknown, but as you listen to this speech, remember this quote. Do you know who Gary Brown is? Do you know what Gary Brown means to me? I'm sure that you have a loved one that you miss dearly, that you feel deserves a memorial speech written towards them. As you're listening to the first few seconds of this speech, I'm sure you're wondering why I chose to write about Gary Brown. As you continue to listen to the speech, you'll be able to answer most of these questions. Clyde Gary Brown was a hero in my eyes since I can remember. I will always remember December 27th, 2010. That's the day that one of my biggest heroes died. He wasn't only one of my biggest heroes, he was the greatest grandfather I could have ever asked for. He was one of the sweetest men I know. He would do anything for anyone, no matter the situation. I have many fond memories with my papa, as well as a few that I hated to admit as a child. But now that I'm older and I'm able to look back and see how amazing he was, I hate to even think that when I was a kid, I hated the fact that we were honestly just alike. We had the same personality and the same aspects of life. Many people knew my papa as Gary. When you heard Gary Brown, you knew you were about to get an earful about the crops, the latest new machinery, the weather, like most farmers, or about his grandchildren. That man loved my sister and I to death, no matter the situation. Me being a kid, I would throw fits. What would he do? He would run to town even though it was 10 miles away, just to buy me a candy bar. Or he would take out the brand new tractor out of the shed just to take me for a ride. He would even have to buy certain tractors and combines with the kid seats because he knew we were going to have to go on a ride. That man was sweet, but he was also kind of blunt, which I really liked about him. He wasn't always, but when you got him fired up, that man, let me tell you, you would be getting an earful, which didn't help considering he was pretty loud. But what can you expect from a man that worked around machinery most days? If you can't already tell, Gary was a very hardworking man, day in and day out. From when he was born until the day he passed away. Most days, he would work from dusk till dawn, non-stop, even on some Saturdays and Sundays. Now granted, there was the occasional breakfast meeting gathering with the local farmers, but what can you expect? The local farmers had to have their gossip time. As I'm giving a speech about my grandfather that's been deceased for over 6 years now, you might still be wondering where that quote I mentioned earlier plays a factor. All of these wonderful memories I've mentioned, such as when I would go on tractor rides with my grandfather. These are treasures of mine that I will never forget. I will always remember my grandfather as a kind, sweet, caring, and hardworking man. When I remember these treasures, I'll never forget how much of an impact he left on my life. As I've said before, he was a very important man in my life and always will be one of my biggest heroes. Thank you.